Disclaimer. The views expressed by the hosts and guests of the podcast are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of any of their sponsors, employees, and affiliates.
I listen to it on the internet.
Being Tsonga in SA.
Listen live, online.
I'm Shane. This episode of Being Tsonga in SA is proudly sponsored by Sagwadi Hotel, a 4-star establishment in Mukutlu, in the town of Hazeview. For more information, contact Sagwadi Hotel on 013 010 1780.
I listen to it on the internet.
Being Tsonga in SA.
Listen live, online.
Yo way. This is Being Tsonga in SA. Ich Tsonga Mabasa.
Nafumani and Shiluvahana.
Yo way nakambe. Yeah. Hey, they look weird, swear.
Look, I listened to it this time. At least look to
Yeah, to Mitramin at this time, at least, you know. He did not jump in only by this.
Look, but I just kuna formula for say look fine so I to kumela. Because as live, dude. Here's my thing. I'm so bad about I saw this journalist. My phone is fine.
Yeah.
Said something very interesting.
Are we at the levels? Okay.
On tape. Like I'm 87, I 87.
Okay, that's good.
Not Lee, 87, 7, 8, something like that.
Yeah.
So this journalist who works for this very very big house, publication house.
Yeah, before you continue, we are recording outside Mashaka. We want to breathe. Garwa corona.
Please.
Yeah. Anyway.
So but I comment.
Mingaze mchapha. Moyenda kwakumsitha umuntu wamoya butongo. Ngayihloleli.
Utosaba quality. But I talk really.
I just want to. I think we should utilize. I'm not sure which episode it is between ya Ziggy na Mashimbyi, which will be our 5th episode. But I want us to just take like 2 minutes. Why do we do this? Why does this exist?
Oh yeah, no, we can do that. We can do that.
There's you busy, not you busy. We it's an we connect an idea. You don't hlomula the main source. We hlomula ya wena ntsena.
This is what I mean. The closest thing I want. I can't even find it anymore.
Svara uite mbobo, svara yale mbobo, svara. You can't be missing mbobo. Svara swa endleka swileswi. Swilo swa endleka svara.
Wa 41 years ngwa.
Yeah.
We mean
phela ungakuma awushikuma advantage svara.
Advantage yini? You know, at the other episode, you and Wise Man spoke about something, which we take things for granted and privilege.
Which was that?
He spoke about the 1,500 rands.
Oh yeah.
It was such a huge thing to get it, dude. Melbourne University.
Yeah.
In my account, I had way more than that.
Yes, but
that was my money.
You know why I always make fun of you and you growing up? It's just me being envious of the fact that you grew up without having to.
We take for granted some of us.
Not take for granted.
But some of us.
No, you are not supposed to know them because it's not normal. So that's the other thing. That's what makes you black. And that's not what makes you black. You are as black as me. Just because when I go to DSTV or kuna shower made apartheid does not make it does not make you less black. But I needed to do like success is normal. There's lawyers, there's different kinds
doctors,
of people.
Professors.
I'm technically one of the most publicly successful people, and I'm not really successful. I just happen to write ka TV shows.
You know what? Bandibo once said, rich.
Yeah.
Could actually, one thing that we miss, that we don't understand, that we take for granted, success breeds success. Qualifications breeds confidence. For example, because Kaya, I go back as far back as my great-grandparents.
From Slawasbar, founder of ANC. That's a huge tick.
Well, this is things like that. I was going there.
Yeah.
Things like that. Because that man is like, how many? John, Papa, 4 generations from, I'm the 4th.
Yeah, exactly.
So those things breed some sort of confidence. So when it comes to
And
me,
you get on and add on to someone wagankuna usungula kubaka TV.
you see what it does is, because
It's normal,
it becomes psychologically,
You are born
DNA-wise,
with
it
that's why
becomes...
Mabunu are more confident, Nabalungu are more confident, because winning is normal to
It's
them.
normal. It's like, what do you mean?
Kuhlupeka is not the norm.
So yeah, ne?
That's the thing, Spara Kuri. Hina itolobele kuhlupeka so much that we think that's what measures Wuntim.
But then, don't you think the problem that we are facing now,
Yeah.
with this, I'm very careful with calling them looters, hooligans, and all the criminality words that they're using. I'm very, to be honest with you, I'm very confused, and I don't know where to stand. I know where to stand at the same time, but here's a simple analogy for me.
Yeah.
Ilabanu, who have the means. The means equally, you've got the resources.
You're talking about middle class or the rich?
The rich, middle class, and them. You are sitting HT
Yeah. Tweeting mjam.
No, poto look bilin. Rapseptara poto rabus. Look peptarini. There you are.
Judging genge inga rolam guy kumbe TV.
No. I want to come to that. Look at poto. I want to give the context of the situation that I the way I say it, and this is how the best analogy that I think I can use to express how I feel about it or see it. So here's the guys who can afford. Bashabam gayo, baninyama banebusho, batamishtikweni, bar 5. They're busy busa bilok peptarinla.
Yeah.
Lubusa ka peptara. At one point, kunam guy there. Ani ku busa ritia mfani mitsibela ku eventually michalam guy because of the.
That kluba even means this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So because the kluba, mislo ko argue ngwe shingwe. Kuri imana fana angena. Abitisa. Ibi unwana baizara potera riwa rimihisa. So we end up now arguing. So we're now sitting in a position where we are arguing about uise poto.
Instead of
saying, guys, poto karubileni.
Afana urtisu kale before we. No, when you know that's the difference between Makulele Awen and Makulele Mayen. You understand how the world is supposed to work because you've been around where things work, things move. You are used to a specific level of efficiency, service, and all those things. On top of that, local domain or celebrity, there's a difference in how people treat you. Things work faster compared to local bizaga. Hey, kasi you can service, and that confidence you are allowed to complain and call the manager and things like that. Those things, they alter so much. You can literally tolerate mababa just because you don't have the confidence, because you are not used to. I can walk into a white space and say call the manager. It's going to waste an angar. Because you only met white people who got June. That was like 2008. So you have 5 years experience of dealing with white people.
And now Chabis, of course, you think like,
still
oh my God.
and you don't understand why Chabs and I'm fucking successful or I have a qualification.
But over and above that, there's still a lot of gap between us as a people, colored in Indians and everything.
You know what our government made the biggest mistake was this. You want to unite a diverse society, yet you are not moving as a diverse society.
Yeah.
Kuna bukari who are superior than others.
Yeah, and that-
Kuna Bukari who are preferred than others. Kuna Bukari who are represented than others. MaZulu get representation from Cape Town until Limpopo. Me ya chaya as far as soon as no Gauteng. I only have 2 provinces.
Well, 3.
You can't call Mpumalanga because it's dominated by Swati. Which ones?
Yeah.
Name a province where I can go and find a body. It's always Tsonga, and I can navigate the country.
You can't. Like we can't.
Yet we have a multinational, a multi-diverse country with multi-nations. That's the biggest problem. We can't. And our history, we have never been one nation.
And
Tikuleri in 1910 or 1920. The concept of South Africa did not exist before Balungu. Yet today, we're expected to exist in this thing called South Africa and call it our own. Yet we don't even know the
construct and
of why it was created.
And how we should
Function
survive
within it. Yes, because we're inheriting Shishawan and we're expected to make it thrive and make it thrive as a China. And yet, in that same context, geographically, they still in control of all the strategic land, and we have fuck all. So what's the point of
strategic
resources? Like food, like bonus is what MaZulu mele kukaya in food security. We are the same people who, in history, every nation is written. They were farmers. They could do basic stuff. We can farm historically, but we don't have food security. We loot 2 provinces of shops. All of a sudden, now we have to run out of food. This bar.
With just 2 provinces.
2 provinces.
And
now the country doesn't have food now. But funny follow the line banchi last bar. Muganga.
Let's speak to Mashimbyi as a journalist. Maybe.
Oh yeah, Kambe. This is the.
Maybe he can give us, because now even how what journalists cover the stories, I have a problem with how they create.
They sensationalize
the narrative. Let me say the narrative. Yeah, how we should see ourselves as Banu in this space, South Africa.
Media.
Yeah.
I am machines. Epukeni ngobona.
Epukile.
Hey, ikhomi kutika la man. MaZulu makwatini mala kuyisa tiku. Etsutsumela kuina.
Bengeri isitikule la. Wa isa kabona, amsona. Ngo warisa lo mona esethi takabona bro.
Hey, echaku angangenela namakhelwane phela. Hey,
lokunisanyanyukile sweswo herile. Utako andara njumla.
Batsande makula ba isala ba manga kwala ka bona Phoenix maba bengopfu.
Hey, mabadubule ngopfu.
What happened? Because I understand that a lot of people died. As a journalist, did you what stories did you guys receive from that particular area? What stories did you guys receive from Phoenix? Like what happened? Hey.
What happened is look, I said those big factories. They were going for the small shopping complexes.
Okay.
So those small shopping complexes, generally, ufana na likai, na the community tayo, you will know the small shopping complexes linga la Soweto, yeah, Ivan Kosa, yeah, man. Ata are the big multinationals, ufana na tiawanga isetela leta tawo macro.
Yeah.
So the owners, they are a community, an international company. So they called each other, guys, it stops here. And then they looted some of the shops. These guys followed them one by one.
Hey. They meant war. They wanted to send a clear message. You won't do that shit, la.
No, you see. So,
plus already.
That's why.
Wait, they followed them.
Yeah,
I saw that. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so that's what happened.
No, and that shows arrogance. Shagaliri. KZN, they know they are untouchable. They can do that.
Yes.
Bangam doing this bar.
Sukula straight and
So law-wise, is that not murder? Shouldn't they be
he
arrested?
invited them.
Who?
Ramaphosa invited them.
It is. Look. That's something else. It is, but also, you see, the election here, it's very one thing. It's very one. Now, when I look more, security gate, guys. Number one, security gate. If you can get still after the iPhone, I was got to talk. The question you will have, number one, you can't police gating. No, Arlo Tamar, Bukang, Simram Zaga, like a cell phone. Then you will say, okay, we'll do it ourselves.
Imako, and on top of that, if the president is saying, come through and defend your own communities, you just invited them to bear arms.
Vigilante, basically.
Hey, and that's what they will do. And then once they get information, machines utsama hi ayi ngulandeni hi ta tlhela hi tivisana genge ya kwala mugangeni wa ka Mashimbyi ku ri hina hi ta mdlaya.
Because in reality, guys, don't you think if the intelligence was working proper, the guys who have taken stuff from the shops, who are busy shooting themselves videos and everything, and the guys Valley Phoenix, shouldn't they be arrested by now?
Yeah, but the intelligence doesn't want to work. The intelligence, if it was meant to work, it would have worked.
Intelligence, problem intelligence, when look, let's throw out the past 10 years. Zuma was dismantling the whole intelligence for himself.
Oh yeah, Kambe, that's what he did.
Dismantle how? What do you dismantle?
Maybe because you wouldn't be following that much. That the news. Look, I'll check on the commission. We check on that old man Dr. Siglin Famad.
Yeah.
If you check his testimony, I don't remember. I check out what is happening in the security cluster. He found you see that girl at the end of Amaporese Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes. You see, that guy who atira within the highest level security services, the spies, mara anga reporti ka munhu, aka reporta ka Zuma personally.
Wow.
So you'll be a director general of international espionage. That guy will be above you. Anga reporti ka wena, arna budget yo tlana ya wena.
What?
Yes.
So look, he knows nothing. He's just
because he's a spy. That's his training.
That's his training. Well,
you can't
not to admit.
Yeah,
because that's not your commander.
Intelligence, yabo serious. Is that this guy? Uchu really yes. I did some police on Friday.
Yes.
I know young people are wait till you got the newspaper and I don't know when you know some I would almost come up with I
So do you think they played him there?
They play him there because he never looking for the case that serious. Later on, the compiler cash, but we sell a charge a
and then okashla atutuma think at person and it's not within the play so he's exposing player opposition.
The newspaper termina instigate and the tisama person. If you are not, we look land. That's it.
And you know the law if you are working in intelligence.
Yeah, you were a senior espionage in the department. Yeah, security system. Why would you go where more police for the porter for nothing?
So my question would be this though: if indeed Zuma dismantled the intelligence, like in the last 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Are you saying to me now the ones who are in charge now, they did not recognize what is the issue, and for the last little time that they had, try to rectify those things? I mean,
no. What happens? Let's go. Melela ko ile is bro. Ikore ukuma Shitulu Media.
Yeah.
For the past 4 or 5 years, I come at the contract from Cheza Pictures.
Yeah.
It is saying Subrunwanyan Cheza ifane yuma multi-choice wakawa apirna yo. Or you lose something.
Kungadza isanu fall.
Kungadza isanu fall. If we say Shitulu yisele kasi ikaitira na seriti films. loko yi sele cater na seriti films se ku fane ku ya pitchiwa something aner kumbe sitshulu yi sele and then ka multi choice. Do you think loko Phathu makes a call ago info what's up mundo the new head ya multi choice angani lavi mina, please do something, tell me chauke ku ita no Phathu zingi
sifika so complicated.
So a bit complicated, of course.
Moko ani die yena phela se one phone
ela wena hambi loko wa sele ka multi choice or kwi naturally your allegiance to Phathu, you can just it won't just disappear in a day.
Exactly. Like
because you also believe guru loko masatilo afamba la ka multi choice mulanga ngena swinendleka awisa cheza pictures. So nani ngithi kumedi cheza pictures as much as na ari kona la ka multi choice.
And emagugu kwendla sweswo.
Yeah, and so London ka security services ka na vanhu lava vanga fika laya because avara hansi ka commandership ya Zuma ka MK loko are head of intelligence ya ANC. And therefore
that's too deep then.
Do you understand? And therefore they still believe kuri Zuma ufanele avana power and then because it's a very deeply entrenched belief kabo.
Yeah.
Okay. So loku compile intelligence wakora Durban kuta hisiwa because bona anyway they are driving a wedge yakuri ina vanhu vazuma ifane hivuya at some stage they won't do anything to destabilize the Durban because it may as well make them reach their goal yakuvuyela ka power.
Yeah.
Machines engasengena kata mndangu yakancamalala na lava bakadloma when imani mebuya kwi mitswalwa imani.
All right. Mina Richard, ne?
Eh.
Nibuya nitsarwe kamaonis.
Okay.
Mara kamaonis kutsarwa ka kona nibula ka village leni la tsarwa ka yo mara loko nitsarwa mina the nearest hospital Ilim. So nitsarwa Ilim hospital.
Okay.
Ikukula nikulele kwala kamaonis. Kama wanisili kama lamlele emugangalo nga kama lamlele.
Okay.
Ningene xikolo kwala kama wanis primary school. Niene ngena xikolo ka Mphambu is the nearest village because kama wanis akurava high school. Actually I think until nifika kunga grade 10 or something kama wanis akurava high school.
Emalembe muni ngari lo mbalabla kwa.
Ningene xikolo ka Mahonis I think 1982 3 somewhere there but unfantika my dad because me last born, you know.
Yeah.
So 8 guys, we're eight children.
Okay.
So my dad was very fond of me. Loko kufika bo June xikolo xifane xi pfula or something we'll just take me around. Let's go back to Joburg.
Tseka kudlawa xiram.
Yeah, now that South African Samana time aramina here, he was a laborer at AIC, that chemical company in Fontaine.
Oh yeah, neighbor.
Yeah, so I'll stay at Tembisa and Papamina all the time, come back from work and stuff like that. But I also had family. I've nirna family la Joburg. Wamalumu amina, but samala Joburg. Na mana mina ba uma, but samela Joburg na le kaya. So aniba nirna family kwa lawan. Pinville na le Alexander.
Okay.
So ningena xikolo kama honisi ni heta xikolo kama honisi ni ngena ka Mphambu.
Okay.
Loko ne heta ni ngena ka Mphambu ni ngene until 1994.
Okay.
Yes, and then
ame heta matric 94.
Yes, 1994 ani heta matric ntlini kota na ku vote that year.
Oh,
under na 14 me.
Amerina mane mangani 94.
In 1994 ani na 19 years.
Oh, amvumelela ukuvota.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Me under na 14 leswi swa ku fana asha na
94 under na 4.
Mankala zisa bafo.
Iswana loko mkhanzi mkhanzi manje.
Ana chicha warta nepkin leri a ro hlatswa kunene leri ro basa.
We don't answer because I boy what shall do. Ubonga mina nepkin ro hlantswa le ro boy wa ginara wa bona.
na re bona le rona le
Antswa so bongwe. Ina
tsoma ka la a ta tsoma ka go.
Yeah, I still have the vision of me, the boy which shall do. So bongwe mina no wela ka privilege.
Yeah, I know. I read the cheese boy. The one I did the purity. Na loko ikula.
Yeah. So that is that.
Take me back to 94.
Yeah.
Loko me when you voted for the first time, because I'm tolobeni to switch between Gauteng, Pimville. So you in Pimville, na Alexander, those were two separate townships.
Yeah.
Hambani njani mkarhi leyo na by the time loko se mthana ka Mahonis mi votele ku ka Mahonis kumbe ka
ni votele ka Mahonis. No, ku tshama an tshama kaya ni votele ka Mahonis.
Yeah.
But leswi ni nga ku byela ku hi ku vona ka mina by then na loko se ni kota ku swi languta kahle sweswi. Na vona malume wa mina lava tshamaka a Pimville a va tshama Alexander at some stage.
Yeah.
So Pimville i ndhawu leyi a yi tekiwanyana ku yona suburb ya kona but loko u ri successful u fanele tshama Pimville.
Na sweswi a ri tani.
Loko tshama Soweto loko wo cheka na sweswi
Diepkloof na Pimville.
Diepkloof ya sweswiwani. Diepkloof yeah a wu fanele tshama a Pimville. Loko wo cheka na sweswiwani a Pimville since u nghena loko u ze u hinda a bara u famba hi Chris Hani Road until u ze ya fika le hansi a Kliptown.
Yeah.
Ndeka that area hinkwayo u ze ya fika le hansi u nga vonanga mkhukhu.
Impela.
Loko leka langutana ka left loko languta swi nga ndeka u ze ya fika le hansi le tirobotini ta le Klipspruit u nga se vona mkhukhu.
A ku ri LSM10
na sweswi bar.
Even
that na tiyindlu ku hava mikhukhu yi specific Kliptown.
Yeah.
I cross na loko
I cross yi nghena Pimville.
Yi literally Kliptown. Up Pimville ya khale at 4 room and ilengele kusuhana le Kliptown.
So swi nga ku komba ku sorry loko ni nghena hala na hala. Swi nga ku komba na masiku nyana lama nga hundza ku ri why swi ve easy ku ri vanhu ve le Pimville lava vanhu va ka Maponya vanhu vo fana va kon'wana va koho vo Sipho Sticks Mawuza va tshama kwala Pimville va twa va ri na ownership over Maponya because ya vona ya kwalaya a ku talanga vanhu vo ka va nga tshami laya va ya yi defend va ku la hi le ka hina u kuma ku Maponya isele yi ri one sweswi yi nga hina na.
So basically I see.
And ungaribali Papa Mfana Luya who was on the news. The
guy who
Lex
who gave a very good argument.
That kid that kid. That dude. That's
what nyama
I was the first guy who went then up sick.
The slim guy yes.
This guy who spoke about Kori we are defending but black business are not the one.
No, they were all saying that, but Gona Shiisa, the first guy who made the first call to action. He's the guy who owns who has a license to do an airport in Soweto.
Yes, utangubona ka picture tayo uyime arna aeroplane yana.
Yeah. And also Papa Yena was the famous gangster Magest.
Yes,
who has a house at Diepkloof. Kuna ndawo bitana Magest kuyiwa genge every December, that's 16. So it's not just a random kid who's saying Tananamta defend. That's like upper class Soweto from Fantuka.
Yes.
Okay.
So I would defend my point. That was like upper class coming. It's like the same thing Yale Phoenix. It was the community of upper class Sowetans saying, we draw the line.
Well, it's not the same thing. Phoenix. Phoenix was full of racists and people who are.
But it's just the agenda is that now we just don't have the license to kill other races.
My point exactly.
Or confidence to kill us. That same group could literally do that thing, Yale Phoenix, but they could literally but we don't have that confidence because it's a comiwa.
Yeah, so cool. Na kwala lexi a ni xi vona mina I ku Alexander it was then loko sweswi ni swi languta khale loko ni tshamile a ni hleketa va Alexander ka tsakisa because Alexander ku tele vanhu bro.
Yeah, tinxaka hinkwato.
Yeah, wena a wu nga ti na mpundzu loko hi ri busy endla giyani mara yaloye wa swi tiva ku ri hi 4 loko u nghena ta kuma patwini ku ri na vanhu
va yimele n'wina ku vona n'wina
ene hi va hi kha hi famba hi London Road a hi nghenangi ndzeni so mina ni nga tshama laha na swi tiva ku ri hi after 3 na mpundzu life yi va yi ri normal u vona vanhu va 1000 ka 500 meters square life yi so it's such a bustling town. So Antwa ku katsakisa mina, and Appinville, because it's a bit of a suburban place, Antwa ku bora. Mara loko se leswi languta backwards, swi ni komba ku hambana ka vusweti ka tindhawu letimbirhi, the way apartheid a yi tikomba hi kona kumbe xihlawuhlawu a xi tikomba hi kona.
Yeah.
Yes, hi ko ku hambana loko ni nga mi byelaka koko a ni ku vona hi nkarhi loya, mara because lava nga na mali hinkwavo va tshametele Asantini and va ya va pfula tifeme laya Penn na le Queen na le tindhawu leti hinkwato swona Alex, swi boha ku ri hina vo pfumala hi ya tirha kwalaya, and the nearest place ya ku tshama hi le kwi hi le Alex.
Yeah. Which was the design, guys? Was that not the design?
No, but it's by default. Any wherever kungana mintiru, there will be a community will mushroom by default.
The community ta mushroom. Swi fana na swi fana basically swi languta ku fanele matendeni.
Yeah, matendeni.
Loko va ku nghenisiwa mati ka xigalo laha ku nga ta ku ri na matende ku ta sungula loko ku fika project yo nghenisa mati kumbe hi le kwini enkambako or anyway ku ta mushroom a certain community kwalaya.
Okay, I get it.
That's why we eZanini mi ri na tindhawu ta ku fana na le vo va ri le kwini elusaka kwini tindhawu letiya
Kaxizumba.
tindhawu leti nga ni va hi mhaka ku ri mina is farming industry.
Yeah.
So I think Sembiso all right. Loko ndhawu yo ze yi va commercially viable, so boha ku mushroom a residential area.
No, man, look, it was by design in terms of, because remember, even that's what Balungu did, the apartheid system.
Yeah.
They made Shokuri
concentration camp.
Basically, Bambiangwana Mile, between Bo, Nangwe.
Banyan Samaku, I'm a cooler man, sorry.
Coloreds.
Not coloreds. It was Indians who. So they put. It was the first circle
with Balungu,
and then and then at the outskirts
okay,
of
I need it from inside.
Then the more you go into the less development, you the Indians. Then the colors they put them as a barrier between the Indians and the blacks.
Exactly.
And the black people. And then at the end,
yes.
And then the factory would come between somewhere there.
Between the colors and the blacks.
Yes.
The Indians can drive very quick to monitor you.
Yes.
But because you are late, the colors have to take in the third command.
Yes.
So that is that. And then he 1994 it was a very this year in 1993-94.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because look, he reached school. Remember, look, he school by then 1994. My teacher about that guys. I remember one history teacher was telling us, no guys, afamba kuyiwa ka the election, but because of the thread, remember, wo AWB, wo Gacha Butele,
IFB.
Man, our good threatening civil war, Carloya.
Yeah, that's
so I remember our English teacher, I think our history or English teacher, Agurkaina, guys, good luck. I don't know Kuruko at Votiwa, but what formula the results, Kumbuka Kusungula civil war now. So I found many voter. I hope any Kurusulus from Bakake so that look, we are maybe Kasungula could taste education street. And that was that. And then I remember the government ayihumesa mali IEC humesa mali a ku ri na tifund to tala ngopfu America ya nyika mali yo tala ngopfu USA ya nyika IEC mali yo tala so in each and every village ava ta kuma ku imana nga na bazi nyana kumbe ti-taxi mina I remember I fambe truck isuka ka Mahonisi ya ka Mavambe ya vota kona and then we came back.
The station a xi ka Mavambe?
Yeah, our voting station a xi ka Mavambe.
What was the feeling at that time?
The tribal line. Remember ka Mahonisi a ku werisiwe ka Mavambe. Until last year, that case, High Court.
Mahonisi imhlengwe kambani?
No, imlanza. Balanza.
Say, logo, because I'm remember, I'm trying to skip back and forth here. IFP, Ngabutelis, they didn't want this merger. And they were,
they didn't
want the whole thing.
Not that they didn't want the whole thing.
Yeah.
The abarku cut 20 off. So abalaba Zulu ziba part of the new South Africa. Because it's Amazulu.
That is the latest. Yaleyo I compromise le nga tele ifikeleriwile.
Okay.
Ai mhaka ya vuhosi ngopfu. Ko va ku ri hosi hi leyi a yi fane yi yingisela ku ri va yi khoma hostage ku ri wena if u nga pfumeli you likely to lose this and loko u pfumela u ta gaina leswi that's why sweswi hi tshame na issue ya ingonyama trust. But vanhu va ku fana na vo Buthelezi na misa n'wana va ku Zak de Beer wa Democratic Party by then.
Yeah.
A ku nga se va DA wa Democratic Party a va ku va lava swilo leswi va ngo I federalism.
Oh yeah, naibona.
Federalism is tirha ku America that's why kuma America va ku in a certain state bangi ya xarisiwa in a certain state bangi ya xarisiwa hi leswi na vo helenzini na sweswi va ringeta ku swi phusha swilo leswi u swi va ku vona va lava ku xava ti-vaccine as a province.
Yes.
Ivi Cyril a va rhukana a va byela ku swi nge koteki i vanhu lava a va lava federalism a yi ta vula ku ri KwaZulu Natal kumbe KwaZulu yi fumiwa hi premier la nga ta va ri KwaZulu Natal a ta tivitana prime minister wa KwaZulu Natal a va ta kota ku endla milawu ya vona ya kwele KwaZulu Natal va receive budget ntsena from national ku fana na ti-homeland.
Oh yeah, that was the move.
Endeka loko u nghena KwaZulu Natal va ku byela ku ri maybe va lava passport or something.
Yeah.
So because of the national centralism leyi ANC I favor yo va ala ku ri sweswo swi nge koteki hinkwenu we must be a national government,
a republic basically.
Yes, so a swi hlwerisa vanhu sweswo loko mo tsundzuka hina hi nga vota IFP a yi lo tsaleriwa kunene so a yi nga ri kona ka ballot paper. Va pfumele very late a yi lo tsaleriwa kunene so la ka ballot paper yi nga ri kona.
They came in late. I know they were the last one to come in.
Yes. Va pfumele very late. So hi so leswi swi ri kona a va lava federalism va yisa lavaya leyi na sweswi mina hi ku vona ka mina loko ni tlhelela ka mhaka leyi ya hina ya being Tsonga and all that. Ku na vanhu vo tala lava they're still nostalgic va ha tsakela ku ri va hanya va ri voxe because remember loko munhu a hanya a ri yexe u titwa a ri na matimba yo tala.
Mara, don't you think it's because of how, as a government that took over at the time, we did not have, I don't know for a fact, as a journalist, maybe you'll help me here, we didn't have a clear plan how to make a unification something instead of by those PR songs, South Africa, you know.
Oh, we
love you, so you know, so by a PR exercise instead of actual doing the work.
But in defense of the government, bonus it was as Mashimbyi Babula, I could not compromise.
No. Compromise
that has to be done.
Compromise like to
and when you make a compromise, even in the decisions you make, you still need. It's like almost if the base is a compromise, everything.
It's not.
Everything going forward is a compromise on its own.
But exemplify compromise.
Yes.
Mikombeni n'wanuna loyi a nga na a functional marriage we ya ku hi 3 a club base.
Yeah, swi nge tirhi.
So la compromise u fana bya wena u fane pfumela vafana va ku hleka ku control wa insati so that family yi ta famba.
Hey, mi veki kahle.
Loko swi veka kahle ku ri hinkwenu n'wana na n'wana I lava ku ti hanyela vutomi bya yena. Mara loko u fanele u swi tiva ku loko u lava ku hanya vutomi bya wena lebyi bya ku hi wena n'wanuna a wu byeriwi nchumu swi vula ku ri family a wu nge vi na yona.
Mako nkarhi wo va na family I nkarhi lowu wena u luza ku ti-point mako va yi tshama na magelegele wena u busy u le kaya wa ri ku orendini.
Mi nge ni swi vula hi ku olova loyi a lavaka ku va a hanya in what they said it's a true form of them. Ku fana na loko Mazulu va ku hina hi la ku hanya hi ri hexe hi la ku hanya na vanhu van'wana a hi la ku tekeriwa swilo swa hina na hina hi ku no hi lava swa hina swa ka gaza na mani hi loyi a nga ta ka a nga compromise nchumu. Lexi ni nga xi twisisaka mina hi loko ho twanana ku hinkwenu ha compromise ivi laha ndzeni ka compromise liya leswi a hi twanane swona swi tikomba swa ha voyamela eka tlhelo rin'we sweswo swi ta va swi bihile ene swa endleka na sweswi
Yes.
whether intentionally or otherwise mara swi va swi bihile mara the aim and the idea ya ku ri hinkwenu hi hanya ku ringana in a national system a yi nga bihangi.
You see, the aim I behind, I agree with it. I'm for it. And I agree with the compromise.
I'm not for it.
No, you know,
Because they never had a plan. You can't force people to live together. Kura plan.
Mara, I wanted to come there. Kuri, a plan go. But it's
The execution.
how we want to execute. And even if plan icon, guys, the three of us here, we all have our own issues in our own lives. Fana, here's a clear example here, Mashimbyi. Fana and I, we are literally two different people.
Yeah.
Fana, we are.
Hey.
Like we
Mara
are.
kuna relationship mi nga twanana ku leswiwani hi ta xi tirhela.
Fana.
Yes.
The things that Fana does, I don't do them. A quick example, Fana, I'm Zalwana, I'm Zalwana me.
And I mean, that's how they're good saying that would that crossfire.
Yeah, ni mutela swona mi zalo.
On this on this Mara, because Fana and I, we said, listen, dude, kuna makali, we don't have to agree with everything, Fana. But kuna pointing yakuri, no, here.
We have something in common that we are working towards.
And the common thing here is Kuri, this country, and for our kids, training has to be something great. It can't collapse. If it collapses, it's actually collapsing for our kids.
I think the collapse I regard the negotiations because I feel like certain groups felt like ANC yerangandlela without involving the rest because those were different factions.
Yes.
Even bona, just for example, I lang den Gaza. Kuna baka bufumani bele kubeke now. Kuna baka minga bele kubeke now. Una baka nxumalo na bona they are pushing kuri now we are an independent group within the group. Kuna ba Emmanuel baka mkhari na bona bako hey na
mkhari va ri bona hosi ya hina na vona.
Bomkhari ba rena Elizabeth I recognize ayena tihosi. There were too many factors that if ANC irangandlela let's negotiate peace. I negotiate on behalf of who? Himako mkharanga rekona.
Yes.
Dalukolo anga rekona.
I don't know ntsungwanyana futhi. Ufanele usicheka hambi loko va na family meeting.
Someone will take charge.
Kutatwananiwa something. Suku va ngomindzuku kuna nkosi.
Yes.
Kutafika munhu un'wana from nowhere akuphela swi leswi mani nga ri kona ku sitwananiwa why.
And una right ani ile ka bona
na una yona right mara you can imagine ku loko hi pela ho hleketa ku ri un'wana na un'wana hi pela i ta va a ri kona ne
ku nge fambi chumu phela
progress hi ta yi kuma na.
And that's the thing about democracy. Democracy, everyone must have a voice.
Yet.
But to wait for everyone to have a voice means it's delaying progress.
Because
when I look at it means we are not allowed to move, and if we move without you, now you have an issue now.
Where I give
nikombela kunyika example yin'wanyana futhi ne. Because I mean a daily like ma very interconnected with the politics.
Of course.
Kufika la vanhu vo tala va believe ku ri China Rwanda they are better than democracy.
Yeah.
And there are people who even believe that dictatorship is better than democracy because sina progress.
That's Mina, to be controversial. Mina, I believe in dictatorship more than democracy. I'm not a fan of democracy.
Something in between.
That's why no democracy. Vona a Rwanda sweswani loko va ku endliwa lexi xa endliwa.
I negotiate phela swara. Wo byeriwa ku ri kuyiwa
problem leyiwa. It means munhu wo fana na hosi Shiluvana lawo ti khandisa train ya attenda swa ANC lawa
mhlaba
aba fane va dlele because aku negotiate loko hi ku indla apartheid uya attenda swa yena la Bloemfontein.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, yo. Vanhu vo fana na mina can't exist in a democracy.
Loko munhu aku a Rwanda ku better than ka hina hi fana mi nge ni byela loko wo hlaya u teka ni nga ku sendela ti-link ta newspaper, maybe Mail and Guardian, Financial Times, na yini. The bodies are piling up here in South Africa. Ta vanhu va ku huma Rwanda. Lava loko u vula something lexi ngwenya yi nga twanani ku na swona wa nyamalala. Van'wani va tsutsumela la South Africa mara va ta fela kwalo.
Yeah, my dictatorship, as much as ni balabla kuri it's fine on a logical on an ideological basis.
Hi tirhisa Alibaba hinkwenu lawa hi khe hi xava swilo.
Yeah.
Misivonile ku ri Jack Ma i nyamalale for 3 to 4 months nga n'wi
Yes. I'm a wrong coach. Okay, what so papa's bar.
Na nyanyuka na yena va n'wi tima va ku hey.
Jack Ma u nyamalarile hi nga swi tivi hi le kwihi. So vanhu lava navela ku swi swo fana ni democracy wa China, Rwanda yini a va kona le ndzeni ka swona.
Masita swi njhani Mashimbyi?
Loko wo nghena le ndzeni ka swona swi nga endla ku nga survive.
Masita swi njhani Mashimbyi? When your current system is not working,
you envy
what you see move up.
Yes.
So it's easy for me to envy China because I'm seeing progress.
Yes,
they are
also, to take this home. Ingetsela hleka ngopfu. Ni lava ku hi languta mhaka ya hina Vatsonga-Machangani na obsession ya hina ya vuhosi.
Yes. Masita endla nini Mashimbyi xile ku yipsandeni xirami la hinga kona. Hi kombela ku nghena dyambu rile ku peleni se. Hi kombela nghena ndeka andeni hey xile ku beni hey.
No, it's fine. Nghena. Mi lava ka rota ni nghena ndzi.
2 minutes tamfonela just now.
Okay.
Yeah, a hi ri ku vulavuleni hi Vatsonga-Machangani amiyaka that direction.
A ni vulavula hi mhaka ya ku ri a yi sukela ka ku ri hi twa hi ri na ku navela system yo karhi because hi ku vona ku ya hina a yi le ku fambeni kahle.
Yeah.
La a ni nyika hi vanhu va navela ku ti-democracy to karhi hi ku vona ku ya hina a yi le ku fambeni kahle kumbe yi dysfunctional. So loko hi swi tisa ka hina mina ni vona onge hina hi believe ku ri lavan'wanyana swi swa vona swi famba kahle because vana vuhosi byo tikomba ku byi famba kahle.
Yeah.
And therefore hi twa ingaku loko vuhosi bya hina byo fana na bya lavaya na swilo swa hina swi ta famba kahle.
Ku vo tembela.
It's not necessarily the case.
I tshama hi vana yona hosi ya hina yi ri yin'we mara lexi mi lexi tivaka hi lexi. I ku ri loko vanhu vo tibyela vo hi voxe ku va lava ku endla swilo swo karhi leswi swi nga ta va vuyerisa va nga swi endla ku ri ku na hosi kumbe ku na hosi a ni kholi ku ri swi tlanga role yo fika lava va nyangisaka kona.
A byi swi lava hosi ku ri rixaka ri tiyimela rixaka a hi hosi.
Exactly.
Hosi vanhu Xitsonga xa vula.
Loko hi cheka a hi swi tekeni ku ri hi ratio ya 1000.
Yeah.
1-on-1, let's say hina kumbe vanhu va KwaZulu-Natal kumbe vanhu va le Eastern Cape ku vanhu va le kwihi swi nga endleka mi kuma hi ri na ti-graduates ta ku tala ku tlula vanhu lava va nga na hosi. So hi lava ku twisisa ku ri loko ve hi kota ku nghena xikolo hi succeed-a hi va na ti-career ta kahle hi kota ku makela vatswari va hina kumbe hi kota ku ti hluvukisa lexi hi twa ku hi kha hi xota xona hina as vanhu i yini because vun'we hina byona.
Dyondzo yi kona.
Lexi xin'wana vanhu va nga xi twisisiki i ku ri na kwele ndzeni ka lava mi hleketaka ku ri va na vun'we ku na swiphiqo swa kwenu sweswi ma swi vovela ku yisa na khoto va hi sala va emhaka vuhosi.
Yes.
Ni tsundzuka man vhiki reri hi nkarhi wa loko ku heta ku lova hosikati ya vona lowa wa ntukulu wa hina a va ri ku chingelaneni ku ri hi va hi va vulavula ku xizulu xo hlantsweka. Genge ya Vatsonga a yi chuhi ngopfu ku ri ku na xizulu xo hambana they're like ene ku na mazulu lama nge lava van'wani va vulavula xigirigamba sivana.
Imagine that.
Within the Zulu group leyi na hina velaka va byela van'wani ku ri van'wana vulavula xizulu i hansa swilo leswi mi swi vulavulaka.
Mi nge ni mi byela swin'wanyana xitulu mhaka yin'wana hi leyi loko u nga si tshama u hanya na vanhu vo karhi swi nga endleka u hleketa ku swa vona swi saseke ngopfu. So mina ni encourage vanhu leswiwani loko ho kota ku hanya na vanhu van'wanyana hi nga ti reliever na le ka ti-anxieties ta ku va hi tshama hi kha hi hleketa ku swa lava van'wana swi kahle ngopfu because hi ta kota ku swi vona ku ku na nchumu
ko va gang
kasi swa hina ha antswa
hi mhaku like vonani rixaka ra mazulu ri fanele ri va ri hi rhangela ndlela hi mhaku they have a university leyi nga championa ririmi ra vona kambe a ku na development yo yini. There's nothing new that is coming out from UKZN with regards to Zulu that is progressing there.
Stekeni ku ri sweswiwani a ni va na hosi va hi sala va kumbe leyi nga lova hosi Zwelithini a ri kona a mi ta ku yini swi leswi nga humelela vhiki leriwani because va na hosi vanhu lava va tlula hina
and va na ndlala and va ri na hosi
va na hosi va tlula hina why va ri na ndlala kuve vo va na hosi leyi nga na billions of rand andzeni ka ingonyama
yi tsandzeka ku pambula nyana yi va xavela swakudya
hina hi hava hosi a hi na madzolonga lama hi nga ma vona last week and hi hava mali hi hava hosi leyi nga tshama na budget yo ringana na liya mara vutomi bya hina bya antswa.
Xin'wana lexi va xi rivalaka vanhu lava va rilelaka mhaka leyi ya Vatsonga-Machangani na hosinkulu hi lawa mabunu ma hi fuma mara hosi a va se tshama va va na hosi and i tinxakaxaka to hambanahambana ti nga hlangani.
Mi nge ni byela loko a va ku hosi byi tirha ku fika kwalano ne America a yi nga ta va yi ri such a great country ku fanele xi nga xiswona.
Exactly and va hosi lava and they fought to split
matiko lama nga fuma rich countries ho Switzerland and what
Germany
hambi va ri na tona ti-monarch but the monarchs do not control governance ya vanhu.
Swa ti-monarch hi swo swi embarrassako these guys va le London i ti-prime minister ti nga va ti nga ti cinca in the past 8 years.
Exactly
the prime minister ti nga va nga ti cinca in the past 8 years.
hambi loyi Boris a ni a ri ku jamukeni ku yena ku ha corona ku chavula vanhu ivi yi n'wi khoma yi n'wi pfuxa xibedhlele
i nga languta ku ri since ku hume Tony Blair ku nghene vanhu vangana America a Britain
i hansi na yena Tony Blair wa kona it like was the best.
Queen ya vo kwala a yi le ku va pfuneni ka so swi leswi hi swi navelaka nkarhi wun'wana ho swi navela mahala
kumbe ma swi tiva tanihi vulaku a hi naveli. I think it's not navelo yo ya ku navela ka
envia
it's ku navela ku swilo swi na hina swi hi fambela to a point you know when you feel loko ri Mutsonga I feel nga ku every Mutsonga has this feeling we know we are great kambe we can't prove it.
Lexi mina xi ni vavisaka hi lexi bro because loko hi la ku vona functionality ya xilo hi fanele hi sungula kwala hi nga kona. Ni lava vanhu va 10 lava nga ta fola layini a ni byela ku yena hosi ya yehe kwala mugangeni wa ka vona yi le pfuneni ngopfu tihosi leti le ku xaviseni ka misava
ni va tiva kahle hala ka hina va xavisi ground ni ti vutisa umhlolo
mina Fumani Fana hi xaviseriwe xitandi xin'we
mihlolo
lon'wana xaviseriwe khazi lon'wana xaviseriwe buti lon'wana xaviseriwe hi lava van'wana va ri ka cancel ne
and a swi na nawu sweswi vula ku
number 2 hi leswi wena famba sweswi u fika emugangeni kumbe etlhaveni kumbe kwihi i fika eku ni lava ku aka theatre laha ku nga school xa drama or xa film and television va ta ku byela ku hava sweswo you know what's gonna happen loko va heta ku tshama as the royal council va ta ku no ku tembisa un'wana laha i ri la ku endla swilo swa royal swa tifilimi na yini a hi swi endleni hina
and Araskoti or rather the vision of what you had.
Business in one way you find it belong to Avosi. I pumele you also have to pumele go business you prosper. So mina you go wanna come in guys. Nishi wanna go host to okay ni swivula ambiso nyumisa. Hosi leyi nga tshama ni vona yi pfuna vanhu hi liya i hosi vanhu lava vele khale ka ku phutha tswana lavaya.
Mangope
not Mangope.
Man.
Misalo wa hosi not Mangope la hosi.
Mangope afana ntsangwisi.
Bafukeng.
The Royal Bafukeng.
Isi vanhu va Bafukeng ne loko u languta stadium xa vo u ya ka administrative block ya vo u ta switwa ku ri va hisela va endle something loko u nghena ti-village ta ku fanele ka mphakati bro u ta kuma ku ri na tar road ku ri na rubbish collection gezi ri tshama ri ri kona
avo fuma
Kuna fund,
mahala
loko wena u ri fana u ri film producer va ku landa a Cape Town va ta ku holela the same amount leyi u yi holaka from wherever va ku ta tirhela kaya because
Yeah,
u mupfukeni
that's power mos.
hi leswi mina
That's
ndzi vulaka
smart.
functionality traditional leadership ya tirha wa yi vo ku humelela yini hi yona
Mina ni huma tikweni la ku nga hava hosi per se ko va na ndhuna and then ndhuna leyi first thing xi nga ni endla ni va disappointed hi yena ku fike vanhu va ka Escoms va ri hina hi tshama Ntlhaveni it's a block of villages from A to Z va fika Escom hi ku hi Ntlhaveni block C dimana ala sibara va kha va ta ku ngheniseni gezi a ku hi le ka Makhuvele la ivi va hindza sibara and we never had electricity until 2008 and gezi ra kona ho ti nghenisela hi mali ya ti-land claims
yes
ti 200 leti a va ri ku hi nyikeni tona to hi susiwile present day namuntlha
Yes,
va ku vula ku venda hambileswi venda yi nga ri ku kona ka map mara kona kweli hi nyikiwile to each family like there would be roughly a hi nge ku claima vanhu va 5
200,000.
200,000 per individual 250
100 rand.
250,000
Oh.
ivi ku decide wa ku ri a ku tekiwe ti 100k from each individual a kumaka something or from each family to ku nghenisa gezi tikweni and that was 2008 ni kha ni endla matric
So out here, imelanga
Makhuvele the ndhuna hina phela u nga rivali loko hi susiwa they said who wants to volunteer ku yimela vanhu lava hi nga ta create a new section of the village cause a hi matiko ma hina lawa this was forced removals
of course yes
ivi xi rhangela ndlela Makhuvele by default xi va ndhuna mara vundhuna bya kona a se byi ri na vuhosi xikarhi hi felt nga ku hi ende i ndhuna yi nga repotiki ka munhu imagine undhuna mara you don't have a king leyi u yaka ka yona or chief u ku le tikweni leri a swi famba so we're tindhuna that did not report to anyone
So, you know, with this whole subject about host and everything,
yeah
but Tshepiso
aye
ni kombela ku differa na wena hi mhaka ya ku vindhuna na vihosi na the hierarchy ya ku ri loko ndhuna yi fane yi va hosi yi fane yi va na vanhu vangani wa tiva ku ri history ya hina a yi fani
impela
and because ku na a certain system leyi nga twala yi ri yona superior hi nkarhi walowo sende only loko u fane va hosi u fane va na tindhuna ta 18 and all those things and swi vange corruption yo tala ngopfu leswiya
yeah
because a hi swi tekeni ku vanhu ve le age ne
yeah
kumbe a si kumbe kwihi let's say va huma va tiva kha ku ri certain family leyi nga fika laha yi huma Zimbabwe
okay
kumbe yi huma Mozambique
yeah
kumbe va suka va ri Venda or Messina va ta va ta tshamisiwa laya
yeah
you can't say ku ri ku fane ku va na uniformity ya ku ri va fane va wela hansi ka hosi yo karhi because apartheid a yi dictator sweswo
yeah impela
okay?
so ku na vanhu van'wanyana va nga va tihosi va nga ri na tindhuna because laya ka vona a va yisiwangi hi hosi yo karhi yi ya pfula muganga lowuya va lo fika va tshama kwalaha and they don't want to impose themselves over any other person ku ri va ti endla hosi va endla swindhunana problem yin'wana ni nga yi vona mina hi nkarhi lowu a ku stengiwa mhaka ya vuhosi a yi ri very unjust because a va lava ku tiva ku ri loko u ku hi wena hosi tindhuna ta wena i va mani it can't be in that formula
hi mhako people moved for different reasons ku fana na Mdavula lava a report ka vona va le Mozambique
ma swi vona
it's impossible for Mdavula ku ri a ya luba ka mhlenge wun'wani loyi a nga laha
so swa tika because loko ku ve ni swi ta hambiloko ti-community ti hambanile bro ti-community ti hambanile na le ka vanhu lava va nga vahlonge yo basa ti-community ti hambanile
and I think they try to create a uniform
u famba hi this road ya u suka Hillbrow maybe ya Alexander or anyway u famba in the Norwood
yeah
Norwood is a Jewish community year one so vangava va fana na vanhu va ka Mdavula vuhosi bya vona byi le kaya kwe a Tel Aviv Israel u nge force ku ri va fane va wela hansi ka nhlangano wa mabunu a hi vona mabunu
Impela. And at the community
And
ta
therefore,
hina
loko va nga wini
diversity
ka
ya
nhlangano wo
kona.
karhi wa Brood Bond swi vula ku ava exist, they must exist, mara a hi vona they are not connected to you, mo share environment na vona, and we must agree ku ri hi hambanile, a swi bohi ku ri system yi va uniformal.
I think the challenge if you they because you want to aswitika from khale even the colonialist ku fuma Vatsonga mako a hi ri too diverse na hambi hi ri va muti wun'we a wu nga swi tivi ku ri Mashimbyi na Xitshembiso swi ta njhani va ri vana va munhu kambe Mashimbyi i na matimba ku tlula papa yena and i tiyimele hi yexe. So they try to find this uniform system leyi nga ta ku Mutsonga i xilo xa so xi tirha so, but it never followed logic and the history. How come Xitshembiso abulwa ekufana for example Mahonisi u hlayiwa loko a ri kusuhana na Xitlhelani na Mphambo na Green Farm na Mavambe a hi Vahlengwe valavo a nga le ka phuli ya Vahlengwe within vicinity.
Mara mi kuma ku hina Mhlengwe and loko a fika laha a nga fika a nga kombela ndhawu ka Mhlengwe ku tshama laha.
Exactly. Mara loko se ku fika administration iri i mali lonkulu lava i mani loyi i Mdavula va ku everyone a nga laha ka vicinity leyi minu va ka Mdavula
Must follow this man.
Masibona. Mara i ku endla vanhu ti-project because you only doing that for the sake of kota ku va manager.
For that time.
Compromise identity ya vo ya the sovereignty na power na power relations. Hi leswi ya hina hi nga safara swona hi byeriwa ku loko mi lava ku teka mapasi mi fanele mi ya triangle.
Ivi se ku fika ku pfinyiwa swivongo ku pfinyiwa mavito.
Sweswiwani kuna vangoveni va ti-B.
About the
All
V.
this. Do you understand? Because vanhu lava mi nga hi fostela ku hina hi wela hansi ka vona na vo hi tiva va hi tiva a mo swi endlela for administrative purpose ntsena
ku ri ku phushiwa ntirho.
Masibona. So nkarhi wun'wanyani mhaka ya ku ri hi lava ku ri everything swi va uniformal yi nga hlupha yi nga hi hlupha swinene.
No,
But
you're karata because at the end of the day, Igori, everyone who is in their own space, they think and they want things to be done at their pace, at their time, and then look where for example, umagu fana something at one pace, I wanted it done at another pace. We end up having frustrations. Now imagine that in a bigger community.
But mina lava ku vutisa leswi Mashimbyi hi nkarhi wa n'wina loko ma ha kula come 94 loko se mi tshinela ka ti-election mhaka ya Vatsonga-Machangani during apartheid, what was the dynamics in nkarhi wa kona? Was it like
it was very skewed and yi ndle ku hi luza a swi nga ri easy ku ri hi kota ku vona focus ya kahle because a ku ri na ti-intimidation, misinformation and ignorance ya ku tala.
Okay.
Vanhu va ku fana na vo the late Collins Chavani. Vanhu va ku fana na vanhu va le Tzaneen va lava ka Xiluvani na va manimani a va ri na idea ya ku loko ku hela Gazankulu ku ya humelela yini. They already had a focus ya ku ri ku yiwa ka national government ku ta va na the-province ku ta va na what.
Okay. Yes.
And then you had another group of elitists lava a va ri ka the former government lava a va nga ri na idea ya ku ri swilo swa democracy xi ya tirhisa ku yini. That is the second group. Kuna lava the third group hi leyi a yi swi tiva ku swilo leswi ya tirhisa ku yini mara because of fear and na ku va nga ri confident enough, lack of confidence a va ri na ku chava ku ri loko swo ndlisiwa so hina hi nge heti. And therefore the fourth one a ku ri lava nga ignorant lava nga tivi ku nchumu.
Controlled by fear.
So within those four spheres of groups of people a ku ri na confusion ya ku tala because van'wana a va ku swilo swa democracy a hi swi twisisi ku ya humelela yini hi nga hanyisa ku yini na vanhu vo ka hi nga va tivi. Some were saying hina ha swi tiva ku ya humelela yini loko ho hanya na vanhu lava ta hi roba. Van'wanyana va ku no hina ha swi lava swilo leswi because swa hi limita a hi koti ku tirha.
Swa hi limita.
Let me give you an example, Stu. U fanele u swi tiva ku ri khale ne loko u heta ku kuma bazari a ku na tibazari khale tu ta fuma Gazankulu.
Yeah, I know about them.
Wa tsundzuka.
But
kuma bazari liya loko yi kuma bazari liya phela ku ri u kuma permit u ri engineer u ri geologist u wu fanele u lava permit ya ku sayiniwa na hi that guy a ri ka position ya director general ku u huma Gazankulu u ya practice geology ya wena kun'wana.
Yes.
Fane ku hava mining a ku ri na mine wa exinaveni and maybe ku fanele wa tirha phalawura ntsena.
No, like amadonzi.
So ku na munhu wo fana na yaloye a nga ya nghena xikolo maybe UCT or Avet and geology n'wina mi ri a hi swi lavi swilo swa democracy because va ta hi roba vanhu u lava ku huma I want to go and a ya prospera.
Wakambe ima ku apartheid ay ku lock down to your na hambi u ri ku tirheni tsundzuka mbazi ma va aku you must get a work permit.
A va lava ku huma they wanted to go out and flourish lava va nga na fear a va chava ku huma ku va ta tluriwa hi van'wanyana le handle. Do you understand? And I want to take this thing to an experience which was very bad. And Fumani will know this. At some stage, whether we look daily, kumbe look valawuleni lomu tikhoneni, kumbe I vanhu lava va ni fonela ku mina all the time. Look, we carry he produce Land of Blood. I'm sure look ni jampela ngopfu mahlweni.
Yeah.
It's fine. We are all over there.
I'm tata vanhu va ku no khuru leyi nga tala la u swi voni phela tikhuru leti nga tala lava nga lava ta khoma Machangana man. Because kuna Zolani I director in Zulu, kuna man luya I art director in Mutswana, luya I. I asked one group of people the other day, Nico guys, so look, milaka kuri kunga vina vanhu lava want this time. Milaka vula ku ti actors leta hina letiwa. Ati fane tinga yangi musi le ka ti movie ta vo Khalushi because I ta Xichangana.
Fumana fananga nga act at all.
Yes, Fumana fananga yang ka Khalushi. Afananga yang ka generation.
Afananga yang hello.
Your first acting gig Fumana fana ku ri Giyani.
His breakout yang yo sungula akufana ku yimela Giyani.
Yes.
20 years later.
Yes. When Mashimbyi a wu nga ta nantswa the river and all these things leswi u nga ku swi tsaleni because a hi swa ka hina. So na ta komba ku ri in an environment ya ku fana ku na vanhu lava nga na fear ya ku ya compete ahandle and therefore they will try to hold things to that micro environment ya ku leswi swi fanele swi va swa hina ntsena.
Yes.
And vanhu genge ya le lokuxeneri I Mabene Plus.
Yes.
Vanhu vo they don't allow
An outsider.
No, they don't step out of their world. So therefore,
Yes, but
the foreign world, the outside world is by penda in ndlela yo biya ku ri mi nga hayi. That's why most of our media ya Vatsonga I engage for stitch leshi. It's ran like a government department ya le ka Malamulele ntsena imako.
Yes.
Yina bu Bene Plus. I vanhu who are trying to bring in outside ideas, vanhu who are trying to eat off that thing. So you just don't let anyone come in.
Mara leshi khamata guleje bro. Nata komba something leshi ngona contradiction and I want to take this to a family level.
Yeah.
Ne? Loku vanhu va tshama munhu a tshama a ri a dyanga kumbe a ri a xawela or a ri kwini ne? Loko a tava ku ri this show yi produce hi Xitshembiso Chauke ka Khaya FM kumbe a vona show ka TV yi hela va ku Xitshembiso Chauke u lava ku celebrate. They want to celebrate.
Yeah.
U celebrate yini?
Mara loko show va ku yi produce hi Khaya.
Yena a nga swi lavi ku ri loko o twanga ku na swi endleka u lava ku ri swilo swi va exclusive to yena Machangana. Mara loko a vona Machangana a nghene ka a world leyi na tolo u lava ku celebrate. So until ku ri hi fanele balance leyi hi create njhani.
I think maybe new generation vana va hina hi bona va nga ta va na concept yo a swi kona sweswo maku Gazankulu is foreign to them. Generation ya mina which is the youngest ka
I want to say ku ri hina hi sungurile ku endla swilo leswiwani.
Yeah, that which is
and no matter how difficult it is, Nina, in my own space,
yeah.
Silesha wena sizonda ngopfu siluba
Nkwala.
What about still bari silesha ti translation le far as tikero ma today sa hlupha tsoma ja swi lawa.
Hey, takutsanda translation ta komba ku Xitsonga we.
Fumani.
Yes.
Loko ku ma xi karate kahle xi ringeta ku dya na swilo leswiya mara kuma ka swi xipuni ne. Xa rukana xi vuya leswiwa thyaka leswiwa. Now I'm saying this because guys, mina in my other world ya tirha mi tirha ngopfu hi language, you too will know that.
Yes.
So loko ni tirha ni tirha na ti-company, I work with multinationals, ni tirha na Sasol, ni tirha na Transnet,
Yeah.
nkarhi wun'wana ni tirha na vanhu vo tala hi ti-translations.
Okay.
Ne? So someone was asking me the other day, a ku ri wa nga byela lawe uri a wu yi makhwayeni a wu endli yini and all those things. Not ku ri mina makhwayani marandi and all those things, no ka ni nga ri na nkarhi wa ku ya mi ri na ku connecta na wona, mara mina personally ni rhandza xigubu
Yeah.
ku tlula swa makhwaya. Ya ni rhandza xigubu swinene, ende xigubu ni nga ku byela ku ri dzovo ri lovekiwa njhani xitshembiso until kuze ku humelelisiwa xigubu xa njhani, sweswo na swi tiva.
Oh, nice.
So a ku ri mara wena u ta yi kuma njhani business u kha u nga lava ku associate na swilo swa so.
No mistaken yaloye.
Ya se ni n'wi byela ku ri wa ta ku problem i yini. Loko ku veni mina vutsonga bya mina na business ya mina swi fanele swi va connected ya ku ri ni fanele ni famba ni lakatsela la na laya ni korhama lani ni guvuka matsolo, loko ni hlangana na hosi leyi ni guvuka matsolo, a swi nga ni tsakisaka business leyiwani.
Yeah, man.
Ani la yes, because you know what Fumani,
Yes, sir.
loko mina ni fika ni loko na handla ti-voice over, munhu la nga ni pfumelela ku endla ti-voice, a ku ri na vanhu vo tala ngopfu lava va endla ti-voice over, and a ni nge va blame ku ri a va ni nghenisanga ka business ya ti-voice over, maybe a va nga swi koti until ndzi ni fika ni hlangana na man Kendi the late.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Can you
Kokwani va le ka Giyani Land of Blood.
Yeah.
May his soul rest in peace, because America agency yavo ya men and women bako uta lava ku take up under the voice over.
Okay.
Then she kickstarted my career ya voice over. Loko va kickstarter career mina ya voice over because of language. Loko ka Muvango va ringeta ku introduce Xitsonga back in the past few 8-7 recent years. Hivo va nga ni vitana mina vo Phathu were still young writers a va fika ka Muvango va fika va ku this guy ta mi pfuna ku translate the script for Xitsonga loko sungula ku introduce wa ti character ta Xitsonga.
Okay.
Loko ku ta nghena vo Bra Mike Baloyi and before va nghena actually mina ni tsala ti script ta vona, ni translate ti script ta vona, ni ya hlangana na Phathu leyi. So vula ku ri Phathu a nga ta ni tiva mina loko ku fanele ku sungula Giyani Land of Blood, because vanhu lava ni hlanganetaka na vona va ni nghenisa ka industry leyiwani a hi Vatsonga.
Exactly.
Like it's basically my case. The person who mentored me, Mtswana or Xhosa Mtswana in a way.
Mina before na endla fana the pep loko na ku yipfala when I moved into kwendla content Xitsonga, the person angamzela ku ni nga give up eMzulu. I go no, this Tsonga thing, there's something there, don't switch it off.
What do you say?
Nati yena munhu akusetshama ku va na Mutsonga nga tshama ta ka mina.
And basically, and here's the funny part. Let me show you something that connects there. If
so much twisisa ku ri loko ho lava ku NNI ku ri hi fanele hi tirha, mara hi nga leswi swi endla ku ri mina ni swi vula swilo leswi swi twala kahle. A ni ri loko mina ni tshama a Limpopo ne ni tshama Polokwane, you will find guys va tirhaka ka department ka government department va ri ti-director general va huma a Eastern Cape, mara u nga ta yi kuma DG yi huma a Durban yi ta va DG a Limpopo because a va la ku famba va hisa lavaya.
Lava va tiva va na problem va hlohlonyiwa lava.
Loko wo languta tracking system yi ri Durban, Pietermaritzburg yi ku N3 yi fika yi ku Gauteng yi tlhelela ndzhaku.
Makwani va na maxaka la Gauteng, so u ya ka base.
Hi nge vi territorial hi ndlela leyi guys.
And the culture and I pfumeleli, even our movement, our historic movement, we've always been all over the place.
Hina hi vanhu lava hi fambaka all over. So hi fanele hi twisisa ku ri vutsonga bya hina byi kahle hi proud hi byona a hi fambeni hi byi komba handle ka vanhu hi va proud hi tirha hi va excellent.
So let's speak of your career, Magu.
Yes.
Ni feel ngaku at this time in ankareni loyi hanya ka wona, there's few
Yes.
translators at your highest level. There's few
Yes.
news producers at your level. So I tlhelele ndaku. Richard
Yeah.
ke wa vota 94. Se xikolo xi sungula kwihi ku ri aza a ku ma swi ta yini meni la ku nghena mahungweni.
Hilani ni nga vo mitselo hi kona yaloye.
Fumani.
Hilani nga sungula ku vo mitselo hi kona. A campusini mina ni sukenya a campusini a University of Venda 1995.
Oh yes, Richard, we met there.
Samativana ka.
Yes. Oh yes.
A rivele Dimar.
No. When I met him again, like Johnny, I know this face from somewhere. Mara where I did not know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hilani nga vona Fumani mara nga tshama ngopfu mitselo. I don't know how many times how long he lasted there.
I was there for a year.
Univen.
You were only there for a year.
I was there for a year.
I look for more than a year.
Yeah, I was there for a year. Yes, I was there for a year.
And, okay, so that's it. So nifika la in 1995.
Yeah.
Nifika register a law degree ya BProc.
Okay.
It's in Indiana School 1995, 1996, 1997. Ibi kuba na accounting yini ba.
You
need accounting guys. Morning there. Accounting yini ba. Mara ukuma ku ri loko yini ba so ti bazar na ti na hlekela ti bazar.
Isa.
Ivi ni swona ku swa tika because remember loko mina ni ku byela ku ni last born ka vana va 8 you can imagine ku ri age ya vatswari va mina va ri kwihi.
Yeah, vanhu vakula vanhu vo mi nga tshama mi rilela ka vona
Yeah, munhu loyi a ni nghenisa ku xikolo i buti wa mina ene na yena vana va yena nsati wa yena vona.
and mi dyondza hi ku xavelela phela.
Yeah, so what I did i ku ri ni reducer degree ya mina ni graduate B juris because the course leti hinkwato ni ri na tona sa ti fikile.
The B juris yini sen.
I was saying somebody na xikolo say I used to simple in the juris man.
Hey, ngikuthola kule Fumani but what I'm saying
a B juris in because this mlwana bana ba ka abe tlang xikolo.
It's a degree. By then yona the second qualification ya law because the third actually because na BA law kuba na BA ya criminal justice and then kuba na B juris. The first one B Proc which I registered for. By then LLB aka honors level. I get the junior degree.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then I graduated from that. And then by that time, look, we say I graduated. Kusungula campus radio.
Okay. Yeah, le Univen.
Univen, yes.
Yeah, a Univen. Sungula campus radio. So look, we sungula the first year I was very busy in the focus at social school. I didn't go. And then the next year I went and then I got the audition of these guys. And then I got the jobs at Sungula campus radio. But my focus has always been on content, news.
Yeah.
Now, a show, even if I do a music show, I'll do a music show. For example, when I tell you so, you're more of a you narrate the music. I was never a DJ.
Oh, you're extracting the content out of the music.
Yes. Yeah. And then I moved straight into the news spectrum for quite a long time. And then after that, I realized, okay, see, really that one. I've got enough experience. And then so Nisukania Nitala job, I got a job ka NRS. NRS akuri aba network radio services. We used to gather news. He provide the community radio stations in Quad. The community radio stations atiraba mahungu yato, atiraba a muscle to gather news. So by then, the Minister of Communication, the late Manematsite Kasabure, she had hired this company. It came from Australia. Gather news nationally. This news will be read at 7, 8, 11, and 1 o'clock at the community radio station. And 9, 12, and whatever.
Okay.
So we used to do that. I used to work with
Yes, I know what to say.
Yes, I'm Tirana Vatisanta, I news reader, Konali Aka NRS. Tirana Yena, and this lady Teresa Iglich, and this other lady, I think she was a younger sister, Miranda Stridon, the one who used to be a presidential correspondent, but I think she passed on sometime.
Yeah.
And then after that, kuna this thing you should know, kuna Highway Africa. Highway Africa is the annual radio conference, the whole of Africa. It's hosted in Durban.
Okay.
So I met Sis Mapule Mbalati.
Oh yeah.
Abahari head Channel Africa.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but I think by then she had gone for interviews. Takuwa station manager Shakamunga.
Oh, so that's Scotland.
So she was. You remember she was the one who came with the youthful changes Kamungana, like she was the Romeo Kumalo of Mungana.
Yes.
Yes. So but no, this is Sylvia and we'll see what to do. Mara mani last week wabulela anhleketa kuba la ngizama for like SABC ala Joburg, ngoba.
Okay.
Then when she got there, lokuba banifona no mina sharp ku DJ mina ni munhu wa news nala ni nga kona mtirha na news. So she happened to suggest my name ku ri va ni yisa CV but an interview, and then lokuba sungula I think 2000 late 2000, because in 2001 I could not elections to local government, I think.
Okay.
Or somewhere there. So I have a lot of new stuff and all that. So I went for interviews, but this is the most bittersweet thing. I went for interviews, and then Michaela Loguntanili.
We are SABC.
After a week or two.
Like the interview was at the SABC.
And that
can you hear me now?
Yes.
So the interview was at the SABC. The interview.
I threw at the SABC Apollo.
Okay.
Yes. So after a while, I received a letter. I got the correspondent. I'm popular by that. But you pass the interview, but your position has been frozen because of the financial issues at SABC.
Yes.
I yes. Interview sona and akulava mara lava the finance va ala ku ri ku thola because very kwa mali yo ku hakela, you understand?
Yes.
Wa badali mpofu.
Anga se fika alone the story xa koko fambise ku. But quickly babuye ba kuma mali intsongo va nyika mina my first job ya SABC I could contract ya 3 months. 3 months
doing news.
Yeah. So, okay, to cut things short, even Tira SABC for some years then. Mara, because this one was in the field, journalism, learning a sukania a vet. Because SABC, I got a again.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Yeah, learning the diploma mina ya journalism. Mara, kumakuri, after that, since passion language, I develop more. Even the other guy I could lecture mina I could know in a vet language la lokungena entire road I wanna mus
yeah
I could in a vet language famba a vet language we are what can they offer you it looks in a vet language nyanda translations and interpreting and all that.
Okay.
And then since sungula ko tira more in language most of the time. So ni kota combine ntirho wa news na language so swi ndla ku ri ni swi kota ku tirha swilo leswimbirhi hi ndlela leyiwa.
So you've been doing this thing Vele since how many is it now? Almost
8. It's been years.
Since 2000.
Yeah, you say malembe. So you let lembe around 21 mara ku tira in the mainstream professionally as a language practitioner. I would say from 2007 to 2008.
Okay, can I please switch these things a bit in terms of journalism, working in the newsroom and everything? Ne? Kuri, I've observed how news is being consumed. And from a point of view, so from how from how the news is consumed and consumption comes from how it is delivered, right? I saw one tweet namunla, one of these journalists, is the Media 24. as journalists, we need to start treating, or rather engaging with the president like we did with Zuma. Meaning he's, or rather aware they are quite soft with the president right now. Is it something that I'm asking this from a journalist point of view, is it something that is intentional that...
Because I'm waiting kuna holo, there's a holo.
Is it?
So it's never been able to go.
Oh, Mashimbyi Kumelela, we are in a... Yeah, kuna echo line ngakona. So
May I think it's my mic. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so from how the news is consumed, how the news is delivered, and of course consumption comes from how journalists
will shape the story.
Will shape the story exactly. From the VMA on how things are shaped, on how presidents are handled, on how rather administrations are handled, I find it to be very dodgy. Here's my thing: since our new president took over, there's been like 3-4 downgrades that has happened from these agencies. From these agencies.
Yes.
But there was no boo-ha about it.
The rand did not collapse.
The rand did not collapse.
The rand didn't collapse. Yes.
Now we see some biggest mayhem that we've ever seen in South Africa since the dawn of.
Okay. I'm thinking of with this confusion for the past week, which is horrible. I think I'm in the recent democracy.
For sure.
Mara, I want downgrading South Africa.
I want downgrading the journalism. The journalism and how they treat the president is like with kids' gloves.
Nitsunduka loko Pravina anya bangubzela kubuya kaya wena loko ati isi Davos inkani. The rand shook.
Yes.
It was like South Africa is going to the dogs. We are in a recession. Even were in a technical recession.
We're in a technical recession, yes.
But
because lucky enough, session are very close in our economic desk.
Yes.
Loku stembiso or loku wena fuman was suka ezanini. Na mova uncha kumbe kushawa mova uncha lawan andrini la kan'we ivi va ku famba u ya dzanini ku hava langa ta va khome mbilu ku hambi i ta fika kumbe ta ndla yini kumbe ku ta humelela yini hi fumani van'wani va nge chuki ta pfa yima andleleni a nwa mabyala kumbe yini so ku nge rand yi nge shake because wena ve u tekene savings bank yintshwa ile ku yeni dzanini Amir. That's something. Because vanhu lava va ku tiva ku madrivele ma way va tshemba hambi wo fika pulukwani u kuma accident Amir.
Yeah.
Swi nga endleka insurance company yi nga rhumi na assessor u tshame swi vona ku a hi hinkwenu hi rhumeliwa ku ti assessor loko ku va ti-accident
how sharp loyo sharp
yo hakeriwa va kwa no seri ivi next week u kuma ku famba message u fanele ku vutisa ku why hi nga rhumeliwi why ku nga ri hinkwenu hi rhumeliwa ku ti-assessor
Yeah.
It's risk profiling.
Oh my gosh.
It's
I
risk
see.
profiling. So you cannot think because kuna looting at Durban, which is specifically in a micro area. It means a billionaire at his own has failed to run an economy at Tiko. Because this guy is a billionaire who got to run 1, 2, 3 from whatever, who got to negotiate the political settlement. So those guys, but the ratings. Va hava ku chava ku ri I ku tsandeka ka yeka ku rana economy swi fanele loko munhu loyi a thembiwaka hi ku driver siku rin'wana a kuma accident insurance ya hakela because ya themba madrivele ma yena yo twisisa ku ri munhu un'wana na un'wana siku rin'wana u ta endla mistake
So kahle bo hlawula
mara kuna munhu un'wana a nga famba za ya fika edzanini na movha mara wa swi vona ku boha change down that one change down ka humiwa ka tileni ala tlhelo wa swi twa ku movha ko loko usuka wa resiwa I dead brick ini se va swi vona ku no
ku busy ngopfu la
that's why loko va twa ku i edzanini movha va ta va khome timbilu mara kumanga na accident mara fumani ikuma accident na insurance ayitangi ta assessa volo hakela swi hela.
Hey, game
So
lay.
it's risk profiling. Ingeni ku byela ku ri ku humeleli loko u hlaya book liya ya Ronnie Casril. Because Ronnie Casril, yeah, kuna book ya Ronnie Casril ta byela title ya loko ni tsundzuka. Ronnie Casril, because he's one of the operatives ka intelligence, u tirhe na nkulukumba lava ya. U ta ku byela ku ri
Nkulukumba wini?
Ramaphosa.
The former. The current, okay.
lava va nga khomiwa, yes.
Lava nga khomiwa
So i ta ku byela ku ri swi bohe ku ri Oliver Tambo a ze a rhumela vanhu va ze va ya Mozambique va ya pfala camp ya le Mozambique because timali leti a ri ku ti-campaign le London a rhumela ti-camp a yi nga vona timali ku yiye ku yiva ma-comrade va ze va kwadlawa hi ndlela va ze va nghena switandini ngwenya yi dye mali. This senior risk analysis ya tirha hinkwako. That's why vanhu loko thoriwa president number one loko languta CNN, BBC, whatever ku ta an old journalist ata nyika a history ya munhu loyi i mani. Why? Because the investors still have to tiva ku i mani munhu lowa. That's why na n'wina guys mi swi tiva kahle ku ri loko wena wo vona filimi yin'we loko yi hela laya u kuma ku ri na kutlwana ne. In fact, before u swi vona na ku ri kutlwana u tsariwile loko u yi vona swilo leswi na kutlwana ndzeni leswiwani kumbe show yi sungula number one first day ku fa munhu va i part na gwedi lava mbirhi. It's gonna be interesting. Now you know it's gonna be interesting. So the economists navo va lava ku tiva ku who and what is their history.
Oh, se va vitana the credible people from there.
Yes, balakuvo. So bas twisisa ku ri why situation yi va so, why situation. Wabona namuhla for the past 5 days a Germany akoti ku huma xava xinkwa, there are horrible floods.
Yeah, I saw that.
The world is not worried whether Germany will recover or not. What's the
they know the Germans will figure it out.
They know the record here, the Germans. Na mani our prime minister wa Germany. That's loko vo lava mali ta va nyika and inge diwi ta tirha. Yes. So to answer in that is the issue.
But why is it that then our journalists don't hound him like they did with the former? I hear you kuna profiling and everything.
Yes.
But for example, he's been giving
Because,
speeches,
see,
Mara, he's not been questioned.
Vengi va lava hi risk leyi nga ri ku kona. Ku ngo va wena as an ardent news consumer u nga lava ku tiva mara why this time va nga vuli leswi swo fana na swa nkarhi lowuya.
Because fairness.
Risk here sweswi a yi kona. So to create it yi nga ri kona. That's why sweswi u twa loko va ze va ku pfuriwe N3. Guys wa ti-petrol se ve le ku tiseni ka petrol a Joni.
Yes.
Because it was not an economic management failure. It was a political unrest, which has nothing to do with the ability to run the economy by the leadership.
So swi tlanga ngopfu leswi man.
Swi saseke ngopfu mara.
Swi fana loko mina mi rhumela n'wana xikolweni. Aneri. Ivi va ku hava ti-results. Mi nge vuli ku ri no mara n'wana lowa mina u fanele ni tumbetela. Na swi tiva ku lowa mina loko ve exam a yi tsariwile a ta va pasile.
Mutswari wa swi tiva i domu le bya mina a ti pasanga.
Ku landzelela hi bro mi ya ka dean of school ni ku la ti-results ta loko.
Mako va swi tiva ku xikokela tlhelo.
Ma
yi tiva genge ya n'wina ku ri la tswale xipandzahloko la.
So
within the Tsonga side, in terms of how you see over the years and how you see mahungu hinkwawo ya hina they are village based. Na the content ya kona, it's not really about, it's not like aswi linked not the direction ya tiko. It's like over separate from the main world. So swahina aswi linked in the main world. Hambi loko yingisela MLFM tiko ri nga Tsonga swi tini u ri twini.
Yes.
How do they make that decision within the SABC?
So let's humelela in recent years MLFM ntsena kuma ku ri maybe loko mo cheka mi nga twa ku ri MLFM.
I've listened to Khosi na tiva it has the same vibe nyana na yona.
Yeah, loko mo cheka the PBS ku tirha ka PBS swa va ngopfu bro. Because in the recent years PBS yi byeriwe ku ri vanhu va tshika ku mi yingisela va yingisela Metro because mabora.
Oh, I see.
Hi leswi ti-researchers tele ti nga rhumiwa ti nga vuya ti ta vula swona ti ku ve ri vanhu va yero a va yingiseli because ya bora. So the literacy level ya radio consumption a yi pfumeli ku ri vanhu va swi tiva ku ri MLFM a hi ya entertainment ku fana na Metro. So yi nga yi compare ku ri ya bora because yo yi fane yi vula ta mafu yi vula tidyondzo ta lavatsongo yi hlaya mahungu yi ndla Metro yi endleliwe sweswo it's a commercial station.
Exactly.
Ivi same ti-managers leti na to ti tsandzekaka ku hleketa ti ku swi vula ku na hina hi fane programming ya hina yi pfumeleriwa ku yi fana na ya Metro. So sweswiwani ti-PBS ta SABC hinkwato i ti-Metro hinkwaswo.
Hey, Metro it's like fana no matsundzuka loko like the textbook ta xilungu it's literally the English version translated into the other languages. Now MLFM it just sounds like a Metro FM hi ririmi ra hina.
Yes. So I problem leyi nga koka PBS until kuze ku tlheleriwa kahle ka problem le parliament ya funding. Swi twisisiwa ku ri MLFM yi fane yi vula ku ri ku phohle tinghala ti nghenini hala ka matiyani. It's a life risk and a swi entertain sweswo but swi fane swi tiveka.
It must be announced within those specific communities that
but
rely
the
on
government
MLFM.
must be able to agree ku ri vanhu lava fane hi va nyika mali so that hi ta kota ku service vanhu va hina.
Oh, so that we can actually cover the actual news.
That's why at Britain,
that's
why at Britain ku hava leswa CEO yo fana na le ka SABC.
Mi vula njhani?
Ku hava CEO.
In BBC.
Ka BBC. Director General wa Department of Communication hi yena CEO ya BBC.
Oh yeah, because it's a state entity.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it makes sense.
And va nyikiwa mali va tirha swi hela and aswi loko va fanele va bias to the government.
Oh yeah, I see.
Oh, okay.
Once ku va na CEO yi ta fika yi byela leswi
agenda ya.
That's why ni ku ri that's why the radio ti fana na the Metro. You understand? So na ti advertisers ti ala ku chela mali ti ri vanhu musi veri radio ya bora ni nge cheli mali la. Musi na ta chela ka Metro veri ya entertain.
Yes.
Metro FM.
That's why lava va nga na mali.
Yeah.
Tshembisa wena nga tirhela ka ti-radio leti wa swi tiva kahle ku ri and that's why u kuma ku ri xi-radio na xo fana 702 xi na almost quarter
ya industry. Exactly.
In terms of listenership mara budget ya show u kuma yi ri 3 times na income ya show na profit swi ri 3 times bigger than Ukhozi because those guys va twisisa important ya content ku tlula entertainment.
Loko ku ri 702 loko ku ri Prime Media Group ku ri Jacaranda ku ri Khaya ku ri ka SABC the closest that comes to making crazy money it's 5FM.
My point exactly.
And white.
La tikweni ka fanele ku diliwa na yona swa serious.
It's a serious issue maku
we nga blame the station manager late na yini mara I know pressure leyi va nga langutana yo va hi sala va ya na vona equally va na ti-challenges ta vona mara generally PBS la South Africa yi na problem leyikulu swinene ya funding.
Because how do you make 40 million leyi nga target ya MLFM when bukha byela ku wa bora by default you have to alter ku we entertain more
in PBS
public
PBS
broadcast
public service PBS public broadcasting services.
What is their role?
It's SABC.
Va hambana na commercial broadcasting services for Metro yi fane ku entertain vanhu 24 hours ayina responsibility yin'wana. That's why ku ya tsakisa.
No I've
PBS is
Metro fana na yini Fumani? Fumani.
Yes sir.
Metro yi fana na uncle leya yo apartment yo yi tana mabyala na everything va tsela ku important
leyo yini swa byala yi dzayisa timbangi ni rhandza ngopfu uncle
loko uncle yo fika ku ta tsakisa lawa mara uncle a yi na vana lava yi nga va nghenisa ku xikolo a hi siku la yi nga tshama ko ya hakela bond kumbe njhani mara ya entertainer loko yi fika mara kuma ku lava va hleketa ku va borha vo papa na yini va fanele va yisa xikolweni va fanele va hlayisa kokwani va fanele va hakela gate va fanele va endla yini hinkwaswo.
So PBS, it's your in radio band, the radio band ta khale.
Yeah, leswi ya khala ku ri radio ya vanhu.
So they still have that responsibility over all of them.
Their job even today is to serve the people. Metro is to serve a demographic yokare.
So Metro you fall under in you.
It's commercial.
Okay.
Metro you compete na bokhaya. Maybe MLFM I compete.
Yes.
Nabo 94.7 nabo 5 lawa abana makana. That's why loko kolova munhu ingeti yisi ta mafu ka Metro ku mani lo yina sikozo sweswo.
Ba ta ku timisa muzaka aseseswi.
What to cleariza zayo. Semla ku ihlolela both se. Yeah, but it's a very interesting dynamic emako. I would expect, especially loko abalabla unity. In a country lo stiwa ku ri I said tama ibana bumwe that we realized that we saw in or even the past 3 generations. If una the stations, the least you can do is have a tight agenda. They kota ku pfumelela ku vanhu va sitwisa ku ri ku va Metro inga khomi ka Malamulele ahi mhaka yo mi tekela hansi.
Want to see sir?
It's because it's a metro station and Malamulele is not a metropolitan.
Ni tshame ni rhandziwa hi NCRS, NCRS i National Community Radio Forum.
Okay.
So I fanele hi vala hi hlangana ti-community radio station hinkwaswo loko yi yingisela ti-community radios hinkwaswo i ta kuma swi tekele vo MLFM leswi Mashimbyi because swi tlanga music
a ku vulavula ngopfu
swi na ti-DJ so naswona swi humile ka responsibilities ya swona swi lava ku entertain and ntirho wa swona swi va swi.
You remember Fumani we were talking about the broadcasting style. Like MLF GCR sounds like an MLFM. Yeah. And that's the thing. And no one is monitoring them on that level. So it's like they are like
Are
they supposed to be monitored though?
They are.
They have to be monitored.
What's the body that does that?
All the bodies that are responsible for broadcasting from a BCCSA, they don't exist outside Plaza Malia state.
ICASA must be able to control all these things.
So, but what's failing? Why is that the now?
Problem ikuri munhu wa kufana na anyone anga tshama giyani anga swi tivi ku ri swilo leswi humelelaka la ka GCRS a swi fanele swi nga ri kona. So
no report.
Tsala munhu un'we papila a tsalela aka NCRF kumbe a tsalela ka ICASA guide hina radio station la a yi fanele yi serva tiphayiphi ti blokile mimochara ya gezi ka noha ku na ti-problem ta mara ka license ya vo va hi sala vete va ta hi service va samba nyike license va nga yi pfala that thing.
You remember when Pre was in trouble? With the man that was the moment where the radio stations, that the community were supposed. That was the moment where we were supposed to say, as a community, however, because majority of the people who were listening to them, it was via mobile. It was young people on the road.
But also now these young people, exactly how should these people serve
Sound
you?
like
Yes. So whatever they can get the latest interviews, later MLFM ngati endli kutabo Ben. They play the latest music while standing low ngatlangu ku MLFM. So they were just happy people.
Knowledge yona power lenkulu. That's why you can tell ntanika example iwena Fumani. Man, Fumani will stop a show look shooting will stop and call a director and say, come, this scene they want. Ani film. Uriyin laga scene they want. Do you know why Fumani would do that? Because he had a knowledge power.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I don't know knowledge good. Now, if a director, I you shoot you 1, 2, 3. He must account script. Look, director going to say script here. He don't have a problem na Fuman because Fuman knows good. This guy must lead me all the time.
I hear.
So,
I hear.
And then that's it. So listen, instead of a community radio station, you have to know exactly how should the community radio service me. You take anything, you go and never anyway. Like anyone who say directly at that, I in this detect 3.
Not even though but with that said, now the radio space and everything, guys, you are in that space now, Espada. What is the space for online radio stuff, the podcasting, like as we are doing now? Yes, the trajectory says these things are growing. It's a big thing. It's the next big thing.
It's the next big thing in urban and mainstream markets.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
And of course,
already a big thing, guys.
As soon as
a big thing.
It's huge. It's the biggest. It's technically replacing radio, but you can't touch radio because radio is free.
Yes.
You can't touch radio. Your power radio
is guys, because listen, system yo karhi, even academically, we know system yo karhi, kuna nkarhi lowu naturally ya huma the system creates a certain line of doing things. This one end. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's why in many ways, that's why I go online radio. It's here. I don't even call it the future now.
It has arrived.
Yes, if it is, it's just that, and people, you can imagine. Look, all over data. It's the instinct. At time was 12 years ago. Mara one, online radio is the same. So, I'm thankful of one Lavanga visionary. No matter how difficult it is by that time, look, Uru convince Kurishilishi is the right thing to do. On a compromise. Example, you remember SABC?
Yeah.
But it was also the arrival of the late Peter Matar, his soul rest in peace. So the guy came and made a lot of money. They SABC is at end.
Oh, nice.
Do you know what he suggested to the board? That guy assigned a performance contract. He said, what do we do with it? That guy said to them, I want to build HD studios.
HD.
Oh,
high definition studios.
Yeah.
High definition studios. Do you know the highest number of the board members and the executives? I don't have still go to HDE in by then.
And Baarile.
Hey, tabuya la tikwenlir.
Then let a computer go look she'll convince the show and she right. Ungachar kushibula. Do you understand? That's why Malilia you come in because we Africa Mr. Galimpofu. You take a pakalan Malilia.
I fasas, I'm fine again.
When you got the 40th checks, you don't know the 40th checks says.
Malindi is the bonus, guys.
Yeah, we go about right. You
and then Jiggy looks at super sport. You enter that whole thing.
That's why it says that's why it says it's not the old equipment. Makari, visionary as he was. I imagine the HD studio. Now the HD OB vending another. Letting that show a Malia 2010 FIFA.
And I'm talking
that's why the OB venta and actually the HD because by then FIFA I insist that you need HD fans.
Oh, abo boy, it was not their choice.
Mara Carlo, I find in Rangelina multi-choice one of the HD studios. The greatest number of the board members didn't have an understanding about HD studio.
No, what are they investing in?
Possible. So that those are things that I'm answering this issue. Yeah, online radio. I think is the same, and it must just go on.
The bigger plan is to grow this into an urban station. Offering Vatsonga lava is MLFM won't cater for all of us, Brarich.
And there's nothing wrong with what they're catering for.
Logo expecta kuri hinkwenu hita cateriwa teaching. I think it was lobby semabzongo because this is one shina target.
Of course.
And then we gave it target based on language.
Mago language is you can it's very there's no market commercial.
Yeah, you can't define market system in language.
Yes,
you can't.
My achievements are not based off language. If I fall under a specific LSM, it's not because of
language.
Of language. It's because of
these are the determining issues.
Yeah.
So he be catered on the basis of language.
Yeah, impaired.
That's why me someone I ringeta kula kufostela ku vana va yingisela radio ya language ya ka vo. Ya Xivenda. Become a Bryanstein. The son challenged him. This guy is also nonsense. I can't be listening to this old man. Yes.
Yeah, she right.
And actually, maybe I've taken more of a radio ya ka hina language. So she could know language matter. What else is this guy telling me? Ever since so she left school. And don't you
hey, loko ku ri mhaka yo hlekelela yona xitichi xa hina xi nghenelwe.
Those kids, they are treating Mark Zuckerberg. And he responds. I mean, look, I respond personally. He's very happy. He responded to my tweet.
Hala una pet khalanga u le ku hlekeleleni tiko ri le ku tshweni u le ku
hlekelela. Wena u lava ku drive n'wana loyi a xikolo u byela ku u fana yingisela vanhu lava nga ku hlekeleleni for nothing.
And they don't even have an opinion, and these kids are on a different level.
On a different level.
Opinion. Do you understand? Because the question let me come from my son and call me and I would papa me and Carlo and age. Yeah, I never my own knowledge. Ya couldn't know what kuba with social so.
Dola kisana bafana ka TV. Mona mina ni butsaku why so mizi ari ku khiseni why ambali kufana na nwanyana. And I had to answer.
Yeah, you know, 2 weeks ago, I had to sit down and explain to my son, look, in general, like a restaurant, I want decaf coffee. What is decaf?
Yeah, hey.
My sister.
I had to sit down. I had to go and find the knowledge of coffee. Look, extract the caffeine from coffee. Decaffeinated. It means this. So you can't expect that kind of a brain. You come in the radio for Xekelela.
Tolo, my sister, ne? She's 8 years old. Shuk mama. You know when you speak to me like this, I don't like it. Because when you speak to me like this, you shouting, you and it actually hurts my feelings. When she's not 8. Even I said to my sister, can you imagine if we spoke like that to our parents at that age?
The way you spoke to me there.
So these kids are on a different level.
Violence
yeah, loko so heleriweni. Yeah. And vatswari the world was changing too much. We had so many questions.
Yeah. It was changing very fast. I remember
look that question I'm like this. Antazile mubamfana lo mina.
Tani kubjela.
Abelwa udikef.
Why is this time I'm going to talk decaf the whole thing?
Ikofi.
Lona silethu tsika kuniphanisa hloko.
I remember saying to my parents after my matric. After my matric I said to my parents, Kuri, la take a gap year. Mara. In 98, gap year.
How is it Niswana Swiss with when I'm parenting my child. Hey, these children. When I mean, like she's 4, she was telling me TikToks, man.
Imagine.
She was taking a video ka phone. The video later. She ya TikTok ya mina le. She's playing a show in TikTok, but she's aware
of the concept of videos that has to go to TikTok.
Yes. So this very morning, me driver and family don't talk. An 11-year-old. She was like, you think by the time enough, let's say I'm in mid-20s, do you think I'll be TikTok will still be achieved?
Imagine that.
N'wana Mutsonga lo hi 2021 u le ku hleketeni on that level
Yeah,
ku ri shilling.
do you think ni nga xava TikTok? A ni nga swi tiku ni ku mara u nga yi download na sweswiwa. Swi ku no, I want to buy TikTok. Yi va ya mina. I want to be a billionaire.
Se a hi vulavuleni ha ri kwala, let's just go into parenting because we are all raising Tsonga children. Vumundzuku bya vana lava especially hi ririmi na vo Peppa Pig yi tshama yi sukile
Cocomelon.
i nyipi ya Facebook ya YouTube versus leswi wena u n'wi byelaka swona and the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Mi balansa njhani mhaka ya ririmi n'wina a mutini wa
Lexi mina ni nga vulaka xo hi lexi guys, hi nga ti hluphi ngopfu hi vana na ririmi. A hi vulavuleni, a hi ri vulavula ntsena.
Okay.
Lexi ni xi tivaka mina hi lexi. My interest ya ririmi at the age of 17, 18, 20 is the opposite of what my interest is today.
Mine too.
Hayi impela.
Mara loko vana lava loko ho ri vulavula ririmi, ku na nkarhi lowu vana lava va nga ta tlhelela ka ririmi ra vona. A ho ndla ku loko va fanele va tlhelela ka rona va 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 kha va ri tiva.
And what are the options of things that are out there in terms of content?
Yes.
To
Mara
access.
hi nga ndli onge life hinkwayo yi
It
surrounded ka
revolves around
ririmi.
this thing.
Because swi nga fika la hi va disadvantage yako.
Yeah.
A hi va dyondziseni ririmi va ri tiva, va tlhela va tiva na tin'wanyana, because xi xa very important lexi mina ni nga xi dyondza hi ririmi. Loko wo tiva ririmi ra wena i tiva na ta lavan'wanyana. Ku hava xi xo tsakisa ku tlula xexo. Wa tiva ku ri ni ta nyika example hi wa vona ku ri tele munhu loyi a nga i busy ngopfu hi ririmi misa laha.
Yeah.
I busy ngopfu hi ririmi teleti. So ni tshama ni kha ni interacta na teleti almost all the time.
Yeah.
Misa leyi u ni pfune ku twisisa ku ri ku na swilo swo tala leswi a ni hleketa ku na swi tiva mara ni nga swi tivi because a ni nga tivi tindzimi letin'wana.
Oh yeah, una that context yo loko a ku dyondzisa xilo u ta ku nyika
tiva tindzimi hinkwato, a kota na ku tiva ku ri le ra hina leri mi hleketa ku ra hina leri hi ri lomba kwihi.
na hambi just concept ya Hoskati, he will explain to you ku ri va ri yini lava van'wana.
Yes.
Okay.
And lexi a ni tsakisaka xona hi xona misa liya i ku a ku na nchumu xi nga for granted ka yena.
Na xiritwani xitsongo.
Yes, a ni byela misa un'wanyana siku rin'wanyana ni tirhaka na yena, ni n'wi byele for over 4 years ko va ku yena he's a good guy, wa swi kota ku argue over an issue for more than a year, mara ni nga holovi ni disagree kunene.
That's beautiful. Champion.
A ni byela misa un'wana ni ku ku hava munhu wa ka Mabunda wa Bili. I wa ka Mabunda we. Hi nga va hi holovi for over a year or two. Se ni n'wi vutisa ku ri ku ri rito ra Mabunda ro wa swi tiva ku i yini na? Se ni kuma a nga swi tivi. So let alone ku a nga tiva ku Mabunda leya Bili a yi vula ku nga va ku ri yini.
Yi fika yi karhata kwala
So say yi phasa kwini.
Ma twisisa.
Yeah.
Se mara hi fikela hi nga kumana mina yena ni hlamusela kahle a kota ku swi twisisa a ku ri no what the problem is. Loko wo byeriwa xilo i hleketa ku i xa wena swi twala onge munhu un'wana wa le handle i xi tiva ku tlula wena, naturally wa defend.
Actually, when you say that, ne, Fana and I took a conscious decision. Because initially, Mena Fana and with the understanding of the commonality of saying, hey, wait a minute. She busy look like the YouTube la. So I struggle say look say funny. I cut the podcast there. So I think no, we need to battle and find a solution of teaching people. No, what's happening? Eventually we said no, bruh, we should stop doing that, because if we continue doing that, it's like telling Munu Kuri I saw na clearly there is no way.
I go rukatela so hambana. So
ani vanhu when they
love,
it's like bonanto mkhegulu loko va mi dyondzisa ririmi va mi dyondzisa le vun'wina loko mina no pfuka mundzuku na mpundzunuko ai va mi hemberini i nhlamba yikulukumba mako ni lwa na vun'wina. I'm challenging your soul, what you have accepted and engraved in your soul. I'm saying change that.
Yeah, let alone loku so it's about the issue of identifying myself.
Exactly.
Anti-identify kahle.
I'm challenging your base, Pela. Your base, your whole truth.
Mara mina ani lucky because nisanga ukota ku disagree handle ka kulwa.
Okay.
So kahle. I think we don't have a lot of logo engagement later.
I swi koti ku disagree hi nga lwi.
Ani la ku prove a point. I think that's the key.
Kuna vanhu lava ku va un'wana a va right kumbe vo va nga ri correct, let me say correct, a va swi teki in a good way ku a va nga ri correct. Hina xikolo va ngo xi pfuna kona because xikolo we swi tiva kahle wena xitshembisi hi ri phatwa ka ku tlherisa na nyongwa ya wena yi tsalaka kwala a ku byela ku bako leyi wena a yi pfuni nchumu.
Every week.
And utwa u ri worthless ku ri mara sana vanhu lava yini mara.
Ni le ku mentoreni zwihlangi byin'wana. I was teaching them the concept yo bya ka multi choice. Nuku mashaka. It's okay ku byeriwa ku u tsale mbodza.
Yes.
Like let go of your ego. Nuku all of you when you came into this program, you thought you were better writers than us. You thought about patu batsala mbodza. Nuku until you get into that story room, utwa patu wa ku tlhantlhela story, then you will understand ku ri ntlangu leswi. It's not a game. You can't just come in there and just put it together. You are all humbled here. And you thought you could do it. But blind. But all of a sudden, I just threw everything I know to the side. Because it's easy from the outside to think until you have to produce.
But again, don't you think that's the lack that we have? But then don't you think inside Vatsonga?
Mina nhlengeletano ya ku lungisela vhiki hinkwaro ya ntirho lowun'wana ya sungula ku nga ri khale.
No nkarhi wun'we mi nga nyika u enele
mi dyondzisi swo tala Mashimbyi, hi tshemba na genge leyi lava ku nghena ka mahungu yi hoxa xandla yi tlakusa Vutsonga yi ta va yi hlohlotelekile namuntlha.
Mara siku rin'wana tata ni ta haxa na n'we kwalaho.
Hina sweswi ho bayiswani i ti-lockdown yimeli loko swi hela leswi.
Swi ta hindla leswiwani. Heta ku tlhaveriwa swi ta hindla leswi.
A ku leswi xi nga ta hundza. A ku leswi xi nga hundziki.
Lexi nga heriki swa hlolo. Hi khenseni Mashimbyi.
Hi khenseni ngopfu madada mi nga tshiki swilo leswi mi swi endlaka.
No, a swi tshikiwi.
Ta fela nyipeni.
Inkomo.
Hi khenseni madada.
I listen to it on the internet.
Being Tsonga in SA.
Listen live, online.
Shane. This episode of Being Tsonga in SA is proudly sponsored by Sagwadi Hotel, a 4-star establishment in Mukuhlu, in the town of Hazyview. For more information, contact Sagwadi Hotel on 013 010 1780.